Hi everybody, I'm Robert Linkul and this is the Career Development Corner with Elite Sports University. Today our topic is on facility design and some suggestions, either from a studio or a small gym kind of standpoint all the way up to some of your bigger gyms. Hopefully you'll be able to consider and put into practice if you're in that situation. So first thing we want to talk about is your kind of equipment design, or your equipment and your design, your layout of the facility. Really this greatly depends on the business model that you're running. So if it's a one-on-one setup, it might be different than if it's a small group or a large group setup. If you're consistently training people in pairs, that's a big difference from having stations. Okay, so it depends on the model you're running. We've seen facilities where they have one of everything and they work stations a lot, where there are groups, so there's two of everything, or where there's just equipment kind of pushed out to all the corners and you bring out what you need and use it and push it back. So it really just depends on what kind of model you run, what kind of program design you're implementing with your clientele, and what kind of the mass needs of equipment you're going to need. So try to get your mind around which one of those best fits you, and then kind of get into the purchase of that or the layout of that. So a couple suggestions for you from that. Again, that's a very broad topic depending on the facility and the layout and how it is, but a few suggestions. I'm a big fan of having at least two of everything. Clients really like to work in pairs. They like to have partners, and if worst case scenario, if something breaks, you have another one you can fall back on instead of just losing it entirely until you replace it. This is a big one where only purchasing equipment that has multiple use, especially for small facilities. If you have footprint limited space, meaning I put in a chest press and all I can do is chest press on it, I've just lost 4x4 or 5x5 square feet. That footprint is really big for one use. Where if I can get a cable pulley machine and do all the exercises that I want to do in a 1x1 foot or a 2x2 foot square, that footprint is smaller and the options I have are vast. Okay, so think about the equipment and the space you have and which ones are you committed to using in here. We have a reverse hyper that pretty much does kind of one thing. In recent couple of months we've found some other options, like doing some pendulum rows and some other things with it, but the initial investment was, I find this piece of equipment so valuable to what we do that I'll invest the space and also the money for something that does kind of one thing or is known for one thing. So think about that as you kind of go along. You want to make sure that your equipment can be stored vertically, especially again as we said in small spaces. You want to be able to put things up and away and then bring them out as you use them. But also if you're going to have them, not every wall and every flooring and every bit is stuck. People want to have space and they want to be able to lay down and move around and do their work and get up and move around. They don't feel like they're crowded and constantly closed in by all the equipment you have in there. Their ability to kind of move freely around the facility says a lot too, to feeling kind of claustrophobic. Okay, you want equipment that can be cleaned off very easily as well. Vinyl, leather, whatever it's going to be, wiping things off, having all the clients do that every time, putting things away neatly. And you want stuff to look really, really clean, look presentable at all times. Even while it's in use, you have a system for how it's being cleaned and kind of taken care of. Easily maintained. We have no machines. A rowing machine is the only machine we have, or an Airdyne bike. Treadmills cost a ton of money. They're a lot to maintenance, and some of the belts and all that kind of stuff, things break, they're down, such. Big footprint, again, for maybe one or two uses. So think about that and how easily it is to maintain a dumbbell if it breaks or being replaced or whatnot. Kind of get your mind around that a little bit. And then, as we said, they're easily replaced if it was broken. They're very durable and sturdy. In this case, you're typically going to spend more money to buy a more durable, sturdy product. So if it's dropped multiple times or on the wrong angle or hit against something else, it doesn't break. And then you're right back investing again, on a less expensive avenue, but shipping and all that, and plus the time you were left without it. So kind of take that into mind. And then that is really safe. Never, ever, 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 ever buy used equipment. Ever. Because number one, your insurance, if they know that it's used, they won't insure it for the most part. But also, you have no idea what happened to that equipment before you got it. So though it may look new, or it's been rebuilt, or it's got nice paint on it, it doesn't mean it wasn't dropped off the back of a truck, or an 800-pound back squatter used it and it's all broken and cracked up on the inside, or who knows, right? The point being is you don't want to put your people in harm's way by putting them on that equipment or risking them in that equipment. And then you have a massive problem now that follows if you would have just invested a little bit more and bought good, brand new, used, and equipment that has a warranty to it, where if something does break, they afford it to be recovered or rebuilt for you. Okay, really big focus is on that on the equipment. Okay, a couple really good examples. See how open the middle of this is. It looks really great. I just found this straight off the internet. Vertical storage against the walls, pull-ups and jungle gyms hanging off to the side. The dumbbells are multiple use dumbbells, so you can adjust the weights. everything's stacked up underneath it. Things are far at the end. There's even tables down there where people kind of socialize at. But everything, look at the physio balls, the mirrors, everything stacks up. There's really nothing in the middle for a small, maybe 1,000 to 1,500 square foot space. I'm just kind of guessing. Is a great use of space here. People can pull things out, use them, put them away. Everything looks nice and neat. It's easy to clean. You see all the wipes right there. That's a really, really great setup. Okay, here's another one. Good, customized dumbbell supports and shelves back there to be able to brace all that kind of weight. That's something special. That's going to cost a pretty penny, but look how good it looks. How stable it is. Everything vertically stacked up. Really, really nice waffled flooring. The rowing machines could probably tip up too to create more room. You see the vertical use of this space and how great that is. Okay, just to give you a couple ideas of the things you want to do. Know your business model, your mindset, how you're going to move clients, train them through the day, and then think about your design from that point on. What equipment do you need first? And then once that's budgeted and purchased, then what equipment do I want? Get the stuff you have to have, the things you really, really need. And then outside of that, okay, what other little toys can we put in? We call that equipment and then toys. Make sure you're budgeting for that and you're getting the things you really need first. That will really help dictate where is the design going to go. Where are you going to put all these things in here? How are we going to set this up best? And knowing that you're going to get some of those toys at some point, having space for those so you're not over cluttering your gym. All right. My name is Robert Linkul with Elite Sports University. Hopefully you really enjoyed this. All my contact information is listed below. My social media. Please feel free to hop on there, friend me, follow me, send me questions, emails, whatever you'd like, anything that I can do to help you out. Please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention today. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good one.